Hello and welcome back for what could be the last game of Golden Guardians year. CLG are on match point coming in here to game 4, 2-1 as they are advantaged. Golden Guardians have played largely around their bottom lane. Stixxay, he did overstep in game 3. I think this was winnable, but some mistakes in his side. Some good plays as well, of course. CLG still it feels like, you know, it is more about the team overall. I think Palafox is overperformed mid lane every single game. I feel like he's been the better mid laner all 3 times. I think jungle's been a bit back and forth. And I want to see what kind of CLG comes out next because they're trademark champs like the Yone and Akali so often banned.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been a very interesting series, right? Very different than what I think most people expected, which was CLG comes out, absolutely claps them, 3 games in a row, done, dusted, over. You know, it has been in all the games, I think that it has been more competitive, right? Especially last game could have easily gone the way of Golden Guardians, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was kind of a surprising end. Even the way that they were able to finish it was going to be like borderline if they can even finish. So, you know, I do think that Golden Guardians, you know, still have a chance to actually take this series based on their level of play. I think Licorice has been playing really, really well, has been getting the better of Dhokla, sometimes on his own, sometimes with help. But that is something that really did not happen during the regular season. And the fact that their bot lane has really been kind of creating these big advantages consistently, that paired with the fact that the team feels like they're playing better overall.
They are.
You know, really is making a very competitive series.
Feels like an improvement for Golden Guardians, but is it enough to beat the 4th seed here in the LCS, who fought a close series against Cloud9? We expected them to be better than Golden Guardians. It was not quite there. Dredge up a story from week 8, which was an Arrow had tweeted earlier on in the year that this was going to be his last split on stage for Golden Guardians. His future, of course, unknown, but as someone who, you know, he's done a lot for the community, right? Helped organize a bunch of in-houses way back when, before Champions Queue was a thing, kind of one of the front runners of that style of play. And I think he has some really cool drafts. Like, I like the Jarvan Talia thing in game 2. Of course, they're back on blue for game 4, but they had a bunch of really cool Senna lanes down here. Mundo, Sejuani, and Yasuo all uniquely played alongside Senna. I mean, I respect very, very much, and this could be his last game coach in the LCS, and I want to send him off in style because I think he's you know, a great member of the scene. Absolutely.
I mean, he's been a lot of fun to have around. He's one of the guys that's always down to chat, give you his thought process about anything. So we'll see. You know, maybe their last game in the series, but could have a couple more to go.
Yeah,
could be taking this series, could be winning
5
Worlds.
more BO5s.
How many games would they have to play to win Worlds?
So they have to win, let's see, I mean, it's 6 for group stage, it's 9 to win playoffs. In Worlds itself, he's got to win probably another 15 or so to win the LCS.
There you go. So we got at least 15 more games.
He's like 30 games away from winning Worlds.
Perfect.
Just win them all in a row, and you're heading to the, you know, first LCS team to like hoist Summoners Cup. Unlikely, but we'll see what the comeback looks like here. Golden Guardians again. First pick onto the Poppy. Trundle this time is gone. The trade of
Zeri Sivir.
I would go Azir Zeri personally.
True.
Zeri
yeah, maybe you don't want to give that up.
And I would just never let Stixxay pick it this series.
Yeah, it's definitely fair. I mean, Luger just seems to have such high priority on Sivir, though.
Wow.
Doesn't seem to care. So it is not going to be Azir. It is going to be taking away the primary enchanter sport. So they maybe feel like, hey, Zeri isn't going to be as strong without a Yuumi or a Lulu.
Game 1, it was with Janna. I will say Azir went unpicked, unbanned in the prior game. It was Ahri was the blue side pick, answered by Alessandra. And here we go. There's Rivers trademark Jarvan, flexing the Poppy back to top lane.
Okay.
And, I mean, you always lock this. Yes, there is no world you don't lock Zeri here. It has been easily the thing that has let Stixxay put a lot of carry pants on. Now the question is, what enchanter comes through later?
Yeah.
It was Janna in game 1. It was Lulu later on, but Lulu's gone.
Trundle, I think, is probably the option. I mean, you can definitely go Ornn if you want to just play
Trundle's banned, though.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, Trundle is banned. So Ornn definitely makes a lot of sense then if you're just looking for a little bit of engage. This is very much pushing you towards scaling. And it does mean that you have quite a bit of hard engage there as well. Ornn fairly reliable and should be an absolutely fine matchup against Poppy in the top lane. Ornn generally does pretty well into melee matchups and tanks. Just the percent damage that you have is so big on the auto after your W.
The one difficulty he will have is that his ult is a dash, so you can just steadfast presence, and you should be able to break the Ornn ult every time and not let him knock that in. It's one... You're pointing at me. As Poppy, right? Yeah, Poppy should be able to break the Ornn ult every time if she's able to reach melee range in the champion.
Exactly, that's the thing, right? Because a lot of times in the later stages of the game, Ornn is ulting from across the screen, right? So you're not going to be able to actually stop that. But it is a good thing to actually watch out for if Licorice can get in there. It's kind of similar to why a lot of people like Singed against Ornn, but that one's a lot easier because it's range. You just throw down the goop and he can't actually redirect the ulti. We're not going to be banned out, so we'll be targeting some of these enchanter pairings. Would be interesting to see if they actually are willing to ban out Janna now, given that it actually did come out in that first game as a pairing with the Zeri.
Not
It is
like
instead
the Talia.
targeting the Talia. The Talia was really good with the J4 and the Poppy. I think it's actually a really smart ban. We saw them actually execute on that comp multiple times in a row, where it was that Talia wall coming out from mid, J4, Poppy fly in, they burst multiple people down. And so they're going to be denying that.
Yeah. But it means, yeah, the Janna option if you want to play a relatively safe lane back there and just, you know, buy Shrillies, give him the power. Zeri going to be gone. Sorry, Azir going to be gone. Then move the letters around. It's almost the same word.
It's interesting, though, because also in that game, it was Renekton and also the Trundle, right? So those were actually answered pretty easily by the Janna. But we don't know if CLG even is going to kind of opt into that, right? Because if they just go kind of lower commitment stuff, Janna is a little bit more difficult to actually do anything with. I do think Janna is a good answer to Wukong. Yes, you know, you can have your ulti interrupted by the Wukong ult, but even just when Wukong goes for the E, if you just tap your ult and actually knock him back, he can't really get back in. Like, he's never going to catch Zeri again. This would be exciting because Olleh is a Bard player, and you were talking about really being a fan of the Bard, but Spell Shield, pretty good answer to it. It's not like the Twitch that you were talking about.
Yeah, you can target Ornn, you can target a mid laner.
Yeah, it doesn't feel great if you're just ulting the Ornn.
I agree, and instead it's going to be blind pick mid lane Sylas. Has some decent ults to steal. I feel like looking at Wukong, that feels pretty happy. It is a total AD ratio, if I recall correctly, so he'll just kind of get that no matter what, and maybe more engaged in the bottom side. I think they have plenty of it, honestly, already with Sylas stealing Ornn or Wukong. Even Sivir is fine. And Poppy, Jarvan to start out fights. I don't think you need more engage. I actually liked the Enchanter look, but Olleh says, no, we want Amumu. We're looking to scrap. And Golden Guardians have put a lot of pressure bot lane, right? River's been there constantly. And so, hey, River's throwing spells down, Olleh throwing spells down. You can definitely snowball bot out of this.
Yeah, you for sure can, right? They do have a fair bit of hard engage there. It would be interesting to see if they're going to do something a little bit atypical, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a control mage mid. Just play for the push here against the Sylas. LeBlanc, though, a more aggressive option here, does give them some picks. So you have some playmaking now with the LeBlanc and the Wukong. Those are kind of your X-Factor champs. Of course, Sivir, Lulu looking to scale, Ornn looking to scale. You do have quite a bit of engage with the Ornn plus the Wukong. And Palafox can look to really threaten, I think, on the Zeri. You know, it's going to be a difficult team to fight against as Zeri, because if you get hit by the Ornn ulti, you know, Wukong's dashing in, LeBlanc's gonna be in on your face, right? Like, there is a lot of ways for them to really pressure the Zeri and potentially make things go well. But at the same time, you have quite a bit of ability to actually peel for it and bodyguard the Zeri. If you all pile in to try to dive onto the Zeri, you get Amumu ulted, you get knocked out, potentially by the Poppy. Could go very, very badly.
Poppy can stop the LeBlanc W, can stop Wukong E, can build enough space for maybe Amumu to follow up, but it is a lot of dive, CLG. Luger can be the support in this one. Here, everyone, gain some move speed, go hit the back line, have fun. Certainly a possible opportunity. Lulu can do some similar stuff, putting a lot of buttons on her teammates there as well. So I think there's multiple versions of this one, right? There is front-to-back team fight, and there is hard dive, hyper engage, and CLG gets a pick off of LeBlanc, bursting half someone's health bar off with Wukong with the setup. I think definitely a lot of tools here for CLG. Golden Guards want to see what they come through with this one. Smiles in the face, Licorice looks happy. And I mean, I think they need to be. They have to win 2 straight. Blue side has been very big in this series. It's undefeated 3-0. Golden Guardians get selection. They chose blue here. And now we ask, will their season end unceremoniously? A 1-8 second round robin, squeaking into playoffs. 1-2 in this series so far, but more competitive than many expected. Can they go to game 5 against CLG?
Especially just because of the level of the competition, right? You know, their one win was against Dignitas, and it was honestly a struggle to get that win. So CLG, you know, much higher quality opponent here, and really battling back and forth here. But Licorice is standing by with a familiar face in Demonte from CLG. Let's see what he has to say.
Demonte rejoining us on the broadcast, but this time as a coach, as the positional coach for mid lane. What were you telling Palafox going into this game?
Well, it seems like this series is going to be all decided in the team fights. So I was just telling Christian to really make sure he's getting to every objective early, making sure that he's not really playing too greedy, because I feel like any individual advantage he's going to get this game is not going to matter as much as what's going on in the later team fights.
Yeah, speaking of the later team fights, Zeri back on the board, but a different pairing this time around. Thoughts going against that?
Well, I'm happy there's no Enchanter in their support role, because I think Zeri by herself is pretty strong, but pair with an Enchanter and it gets pretty annoying. So I'm pretty happy with our draft.
I'm looking to lock it down for CLG in this series. Back to the game.
Nice little trade there. Palafox getting the better of it. Pretty long trade from Ablazeolive, but doesn't mean too much, whereas Doran's shield is a bunch more regen than this, Doran's ring. It triggers off of hitting enemy champions. Ooh, Licorice gonna find himself some decent damage here onto Dhokla. Q auto, shield comes back in. So getting more damage back. Grasp on both players, but gets a 100 health lead.
Yeah, it's always worth just getting that little bit of chip damage, right? You never know when the lane could get scrappy, and that could really start to matter. I think the E-start there was smart. The chains from Palafox, once Ablazeolive did actually start on top of him. And that's one of those situations where it's just valuable to always have your skill, available until you need it.
Ignite is on. They're going for this kill onto Poome already. Lulu reasonably tanky, though, with Guardian popping, and yeah, by the way, Leaf Tempo has stacked all the way up. Stixxay gonna try to fight back, but Luger gets a lot of damage down towards Olleh. Healthier AD carry, though, is Stixxay here.
Absolutely. The Luger getting a lot of damage on the exit there onto Olleh, but at the same time, Stixxay free firing onto him. So, I'd rather have the healthy AD than the healthy support, to be honest with you. And it's also a Doran's Blade start here for Luger. So he doesn't actually have 3-pot. Like, he's used all his sustain now. Yes, you do get a little bit of vamp there from the D-Blade, but it's not a lot, right?
Yeah.
So it is going to be more difficult in this lane. You can see Licorice pushing up here early. Poppy, definitely really strong early levels here. The harass with the buckler, you're passive. Every time that it's up, you get a grasp proc, you throw it in,
trying.
and they're gonna look for the dive.
Already looking for it right now. He's gonna get an auto attack across. We got the top lane dive coming in. What's it gonna be like? When's the attack gonna come across? Jarvan misses the knockup. Forcing the flash, but that's good enough. You can let it reset and try again. Cooldown's about 10 seconds out right now, but the wave's gonna get thinned out.
Yeah.
So Licorice could have played more for Demolish here. It's it's a turret with damage reduction. Top lane, mid lane towers have high damage reduction for the first, I think, 4 minutes of the game. So it wouldn't have been huge, but ultimately, you get Dhokla's flash, and you can go for round 2, the next wave is in. River kind of wants some more health right now as he knocks down the crowd.
Feels too hard. I mean, I think he's too low in health now at this point, right? Like, River is quite low. I do like the initial attempt, but also with Dhokla being 4 would be a risky dive to try to pull off there. At the very least, though, they force the flash, and they get him to miss some farm, right? Because he had to actually back off the tower. Licorice trying to take a nice trade there, but this is getting a little bit dicey for him. Buckler's on cooldown, so he's got to be careful. Doesn't have that passive shield.
Contractz should have been revealed by a Scryer's Bloom. They should actually know he's here. Licorice playing pretty far up. Stealth E could kill, puts up the shield, wait, and then he's out of range in time. So Licorice thought, okay, I have the reflex to play Dhokla, I have the reflex to play Contractz, was correct. Gets out, nice engage the bottom side. Now a low health Olleh, though, could be attacked. 200 HP, Luger dropping even lower here.
Yeah, getting really, really low. So yes, Olleh is dangerously low on health himself, but Stixxay is going to be pretty uncontested in this lane. Luger and Poome have got to try to clear this out as fast as they possibly can. You can see River is down on that bottom side, so I mean, if they hang around too long, there is a potential of a lane gank, but we see that is warded out, so they know there is a chance that there was going to be some sort of a lane gank coming through, so they already had that ward down from earlier. We'll be able to pick up most of this farm, and looks like they're going to have to base and very likely take the L on this wave because it's not a cannon wave, so they should lose a full wave if they complete the base.
Yep, and with double stacks up, you get the melee wave down really, really fast. Always one of the happiest things about having a melee support is you get faster than normal wave clear, and man, does that feel amazing. Get a recall even faster than would be. This is not a cannon wave they're inheriting, by the way. The one before this was. Olleh had dematerializers. We'll change that into a verb, why not? So CLG are able to actually shut this wave pretty reliably. Mana pool is high enough that they're going to get their own decent recall. Just off of Berserk Greaves here. Yeah, you can see, like, hey, Sivir Lulu, really good wave clear, not a cannon wave, takes him 4 seconds. I think both teams are going to be okay with their recalls.
Yeah, ends up working out just fine. Don't end up actually getting forced to go back to base. They're able to stay around, pick this up. River's not in the area, so not punished whatsoever. Stixxay not going to really lose anything himself here either, but definitely looked like with the HP advantage, potentially Golden Guardians would have gotten something more from that. But at the end of the day, it is pretty much dead even. You can see mid lane first recalls have been completed. It's the early sword boots here for Palafox, so trying to get a little bit aggressive. These are always answered very easily, though, in the 1v1. Like, almost always, you'll just see Merchandise as the answer when someone goes for those early sword boots, and that kind of negates all the spell pen that you're really going to get from it.
Olleh actually spotted, doesn't know that the information was gleaned, puts the word over the wall, and kind of like, hey, bud. But yeah, of course, can't target E, only gets the wireframe. So never actually visibly sees champion. But now, play to his top side, keep in mind, there is no flash, it's a guaranteed knockup into the slow, and there's nothing he can do about it. First blood, Golden Guardians claim it 609.
Nicely done. Just holding on to that steadfast presence with the W there from Poppy. So Dhokla cannot charge as long as you're actually staying on top of this guy. You try to use a Searing Charge, you'll just get stunned up. A lot going to be lost there from Dhokla. At the very least, though, Contractz will get that top side. Double chains used there onto Ablazeolive. In goes Olleh.
Bell shield, second stuns up in a second. It's a 2-second timer between the two of them. Misses on a Poome, and that means Stixxay has to flash. Boomerang almost kills, but not quite. Olleh forced out now as well. Ignite, just kind of a panic shot here. CLG burned a couple of summoners, but Golden Guardians burned their health bars.
Yeah, they got so much damage down. CLG now getting the better of the Golden Guardians bot lane. It has been going the other way, it feels like, throughout this series. Maybe gonna get a plate, but at the very least, gonna be able to get your spell thief procs and then just back it up. Looks like Luger is concerned about River being in the area and does have the correct read as River, was down in the red buff, so could have been coming over here. At the very least, though, they get out all 4 summoners for a cost of 2 of their own here, so it should draw junglers down. I think especially once Contractz hits 6, it's looking like potential easy kills down there on that Golden Guardians bottom lane.
Recalls come through, not a lot happening here. A wave was denied, so Luger does theoretically get the better of it. Double longsword comes into the one picked up of Stixxay. That entire wave denied under the turret, taking the recall for tempo reasons. Yes, he could have cashed in, but says, I would rather gain 20 attack damage, come in and keep the pressure instead of a better buy later on. Totally reasonable option there is CLG, yes, feeling good in the bottom lane. Although Stixxay does currently have a CS lead.
Doing fire as far as farm is concerned. Dhokla obviously struggling a bit. That early dive up towards topside, even though it didn't kill him off, did put him behind. Then he gets ganked without the flash, dies there, so he is way down on farm.
Dunks on a Luger, they know he's flashless, they know they can 3v1. Spell shoot gets a whole lot of nothing. Stun comes across and the kill is through. Well played by River, knowing they have a target. River in the early game getting it done.
Yeah, that's huge, being able to punish that missing flash. They were down additional summoners on the Golden Guardian side, but Sivir with no flash has no way out of the Cataclysm.
Nice.
So gets down there very, very aggressive on the play, and they get the pickup. And again, Stixxay is the one getting the kills on all these ganks. It feels like every single game when they go down there, he's the one able to actually get that last hit, which is so nice to kind of slingshot him into that early advantage.
No, it is. Being a Herald, though, is attacked on the top side. It's on vision, but it may not matter. They trade back and forth in mid lane. Ice attempt says, I'm going to throw the chains out. You're going to reflex dodge. No, does not get hit by him. So the chain comes through, but now under the tower, he will stay alive. Otherwise, I think the Contractz would have been able to jump into range, flash ult, red smite, probably would have came to the kill. The preemptive flash from Ablazeolive required for his life. As top laners continue to trade back and forth, the Bomby Cinder is on. Licorice, last we saw, up 15 CS, gets his grasp. Should still feel good up here, wants that cannon to deny it.
Yeah, very likely will. Don't think he has to. Oh,
72.
Oh, looked like his cannon turned away from it. So
yeah,
maybe a little bit of luck there. Does actually pick up the cannon though, which is quite a big deal. Has been struggling in that 1v1. Poppy's damage will be less threatening as the game goes on though. So once he stabilizes a bit, should be fine to kind of just farm it out.
Licorice just kind of staying to fight because he's got River coming around, but you're getting lower and lower, puts on the haste and has to flash away. And now, wait, that ulti was pretty terrible. He's just missing it now, but it doesn't matter. I think it's going to go to CLG regardless. They'll sit around, though. Smite is up. Here's the eye pop, and he's not in range. So CLG bring the members over. They get the claim on Rift Herald. Golden Guardians, though, they hold the gold lead for now. Get nothing for that play.
We have to see how much Stixxay gets, though, because this is what they're getting. Right? They're getting bot say. Stixxay is actually pushing up here. Has taken at least 1 plate. I don't know how many minions are being denied. There's no TP to actually answer bot, so he gets 2 plates, and he's going to get an even larger CS advantage. So I actually think it's good for Golden Guardians.
Yeah.
You're up now 25 CS this early on over the Sivir, who did move towards mid. Plus 2 plates, plus a kill. I'm gonna check out the gold. It's 4K to 2,600 in the bottom lane. Like, that is absurd.
Licorice is comfy here with no mana bar on Dhokla. He's like, I'll walk up, I'll hit you with my shield, I'll grab grass, no problem here. Still feels good up there. 2,300 gold. Golden Guardians doing very, very well. Yeah, bot lane, largely off of macro plays, it felt like, and obviously a good gank from River has set bot lane ahead so very well. CLG, they play for the top side. I mean, the fight goes well. They burn Licorice's flash. They get the Herald mostly uncontested. But yes, as you mentioned, Stixxay was around. Recall stop. 2 turret shots hurts a lot, though. He's not killable again. He knows he has no mana. And it's because Ablazeolive is here with a stolen LeBlanc ult. He's going to come in. He's going to take aggro. First, a flash to safety for Dhokla. They take a turret plate and a demolish.
Yeah, doing really well in the early stages here. And yeah, definitely, I mean, the macro play there, being able to leave Stixxay down towards bot got him an advantage, but really feels like River has been the biggest difference in this game, right? It's River who threatens the dive top. It's River who gets the kill on Dhokla. It's River who gets the kill on the flashless Luger, even though his bot lane was losing 2v2 and had to use all 4 sums. So to me, River is the difference maker in this game 100%. He's on his kind of famous Jarvan that everyone was going nuts about when he first actually came in on Dig. was just solo carrying games on this. It started getting permabanned against him. But back on the J4, already making a really big difference. You know, both the lanes that are winning, I feel are winning because of River.
Yeah, completely agree. He's done so much to them ahead. And now it's up to them to kind of drive it over the finish line because, you know, Jarvan, he is still an engage tool, but like he's a relatively squishy engaged.
Yeah.
W is like an okay-ish shield, but you're like, I'm here, you're locked in. I hope my carries have enough gold to win from here because you're gonna attack me. And the case is, do you have enough? That's what it comes down to. Sun's gonna land decent damage out of Ablazeolive as the Herald charge will land in mid, and I believe Palafox will not get his share. No, he does. Okay, he out of the turret once. Gets his share of the gold. 160 a piece there. Contractz splits it. 12 minutes in, 1,800 gold puts Golden Guardians ahead.
Yep, still in a really good position. I mean, definitely Wukong scales better, but like, Wukong is down farm, down kills.
Right target actually gonna hit. Contractz gets knocked up into the air, gonna try to dash away. Stays alive for a second. The heal, I believe it doesn't even land. A flash follow on a Contractz. It's a 1-for-1. Both junglers claim kills.
Yeah, both of them getting a kill there, taking down. Oh,
wow. I think Stixxay afraid of getting.
dicey.
I think he's afraid of getting Lulu ulted, so he flashes preemptively to not get knocked into the air.
Yeah, probably the play that Poome was looking for. You know, looking for that aggressive move. Amumu was missing, so they get both sums off of Stixxay again. Contractz getting involved, though, for the first time this game. But it is, again, River kind of getting more out of it. 3 camps up, has the additional kill, has the additional assist. It has really been active so far in this game. And we'll see if he can continue to push that pace. You know, I agree. Jarvan does kind of fall off the cliff eventually, but definitely not yet. You know, no one has mythics completed on the other team except for the enemy jungler, so he can be a big threat to these solo laners. He can be a big threat to the Sivir as well at this stage. But as the game continues, you know, more cannons spawn in the lanes, your income ramps up, and you start taking away those camps, and your carries start pilfering your camps. So
you just cooldown. There we go.
Scale.
It's like I need to use Demolish, a melee champion, but I just used it to last the minion. All right, he's okay. Contractz will not find his target either. I mean, Licorice now twice in a row has, again, you mentioned that was helped a lot by River, but he is doing so much in this lane now. Again, 15 CS lead. Farming plates up there, doing so well in the 1v1. Similar on the Renekton, but now on the Poppy here. Additionally, as Poome will be locked into place, there's enough damage. Knock comes through for Jarvan. The timer works. The ulti finally cast. A flash follow. Does he have it? EQ should be up soon. Can he get his target, though? Sidestepping around. Spell Shield comes out as Luger gets hit by nothing. Well done as the CLG bot lane gets away.
Yeah, they do get away, but again, losing farm, losing tower damage there. So getting pushed here pretty hard. But I agree. I mean, Licorice has been doing a really good job in the lane overall. Of course, yes, he got put ahead by River, but has made the most of it, constantly harassing with the Qs. And the percent HP damage on the Poppy Q is also really, really nice for these tank matchups. It is 8% max health physical damage from the first half of your Q and the second half of your Q. So it is quite a bit of damage there on the Ornn. And he's going for the Frozen Heart Rush. And again, the buckler spam is just so annoying in these early levels. You know, eventually Dhokla is going to stop caring more about the harass and it's just going to become about farm and push. But we are not there quite yet. And Licorice is doing the most with this advantage that he was given.
Good stun. Might have hit the W here as well for a bit of health, but still Palafox getting back to safety. Always has the escape route. As River looked, but could not find a good target. Contractz sees him walk over and says, you know what, I have a Divine Sunder. I like this fight. Red Smite comes in. Decent damage from the red buff here as well. Ultis for a bit more. River going to jump over to the other sides, but is that going to matter? TV's coming across now. Will it be enough to kill? As River puts the ulti down, but the shutdown is in for Contractz. The chase in for Stixxay, but he's inside the Drake pit. Does he have enough time to buy? Contractz smites for health. Cannot get the kill. Sivir nearly claims it. Stixxay even live. The Ricochet's coming around. 3 hits per target. Luger finds the kill. And then Ward comes down for a teleport. A 1-for-1. No, a 2-for-1. Sorry, both junglers, but also Stixxay is dead. A dive into the tower. It's too much from Palafox. Seals his own fate.
Yeah, that was way too much diving into the tower. Now Dhokla maybe going to get chased down. The R is available for Licorice, but can't quite close the gap to get the knock-up and finish him off. Very scrappy stuff. You know, Contractz coming out on top in the 1v1 against River, and it took him so long to actually die that he was able to get a lot of damage out. You know, Palafox definitely going way too far, though. Didn't see the initial part of the dive, but you have to assume that he got stunned by the chains or the Amumu Q there, the bandage toss, to actually get locked up under that tower. Probably wanted to go in, see if he could actually kill someone off, then just distort back over. But unfortunately for him, gets locked up, gets taken down. And the pressure top lane does mean it's going to be River grabbing that Herald. So back to live, or excuse me, back to the replay. We are seeing Contractz here on this initial play. Sidestep onto River, chases him down, gets that catch up. Stixxay going in to try to help finish him off. The TP arrives. You can see that top Palafox is being pushed out. Oh, and this was the TP being interrupted, excuse me there, from the Poppy who was trying to come down. Stixxay, though, took so much damage here from Contractz, and that allows Luger to just flash in to really go aggressive. Does get stunned up by Ablazeolive, so made it a little bit harder than you would have thought. But then Palafox, who had gone back to base, TP's in, distortion over the wall. Which did he actually get hit by? We're not going to see.
Yeah, I know the chains had landed, but I'm pretty sure they can both just like press the button forward if someone's getting hit. And we can try again in the top side here is Olleh. Has teammates around him though, jumps in, fights Dhokla. Top lane, outer turret is gone. 2-0 in turrets. The fights may have looked close. I mean, the kill score is 5-3, but it's a 4,000 gold lead to Golden Guardians. They are running headlong toward a game 5. But it's not just, well, Stixxay is huge. It's the team effort coming through. River wants the engage. Luger is flashless. That means he could be a target. Poppy sends back one. Licorice buys some time, slows up Luger. They can find this engage pretty soon. River's going to be in range, and there is no way that you live. Licorice puts him on a silver platter, and Ablazeolive chomps him down.
Nicely done. Golden Guardians just collapsing from multiple sides there. No way out for the Sivir, who had to pop the ult early just to keep away from the Cataclysm because he has no flash. But they're able to chase him down, take him out. And now mid lane turret is going to fall here as well. It's going to be a 5K gold lead at 17 minutes here for Golden Guardians. CLG are struggling against the onslaught here that Golden Guardians are putting on.
Herald goes down in the mid lane, but mid outer was slain. So 3-0 on turrets, gold lead 4.8 is going better and better for Golden Guardians. Looking for that game 5, looking for that win then in the final game of the series. CLG lost to C9 in 5. And right now not playing to the level I think they expected themselves. Talking with Palafox last week, he's like, we feel good. Honestly, not worried about who we're playing against. We played reasonably well. We can fix the mistakes. It's my fault that we lost. Like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. CLG, at a certain point, you feel it slipping away from you, and you hope that, game 5 looks better. Or this game, I mean, it's obviously comebackable, but it is a significant deficit.
It's definitely possible to win. We'll have to see if they can kind of claw their way back into it. But, you have to say that sometimes in these situations, there's a lot more pressure on the favorite, right? It's one of those situations where you expected to slam this game, right? You expected to slam this series. Even Palafox in that interview with Travis Gafford, he was talking about how, who cares? I'm playing TSM, I'm playing Golden Guardians, it doesn't matter. We're gonna crush them basically, right? And now you're in a situation where you start to feel the series slipping away from you a little bit. There is that added bit of pressure where the expectations that you put on yourself, the expectations from the community, can make it very, very difficult. And sometimes that lower seed, the underdog, just gets to play and just kind of play comfortably, right? Because no one expected Golden Guardians to do anything in this. Yep. So they're playing great. They're playing some of those kind of relaxed League of Legends that they've played in a really long time. And I think this is the best they've looked in so long, right? Like this was, even before, in the first half of the split, this is better than they looked then. They went 4-5 first half, but I think this is another level than we've really been able to see from them all summer.
The best this roster looked by far.
Yeah.
I mean, they were trying to find a version that would work, and it didn't for so long here. But Ablazeolive having a solid game on his way toward a Banshee's Veil to make sure he can frontline reasonably well. Get extra haste in there on top of that one. The root's going to land, actually, so pretty good damage available on a Palafox. He's going to flash, but when does the rest of it land, honestly? Zeri not going to land the slow just yet. The chain going to get jumped away. Distortion keeps Palafox alive. Sivir makes herself known across the board as well.
Yeah, but Sivir is just so far down in this one. It's 40 CS plus all the additional gold from the extra towers and stuff that they've taken. It's 8K to 6,300 between Stixxay and Luger, so almost a full item up at this point. It is a massive, massive advantage there. And it is going to be their dragon, very likely as well, as I think CLG are just going to kind of turtle up and try to play for later stages of the game. But by no means are they guaranteed to win in the late stages, right? They don't have some sort of monumental scaling advantage by any means. No control mage mid. It can be difficult for the Sivir to actually function against a lot of these divers here, especially against the J4, because if you get Cataclysm in, their only option is to flash out. That's the only thing you have, right? So if they continue to play around that, which Golden Guardians have done really, really well, and Sivir is pressured, well, then it becomes pretty tough.
The camps go down. Wolves belong to Ablazeolive. Contractz wanted to see if he's a counter jungle. There was not. Sees that Drake died, realized Everett probably did that one. He was probably down there, so is there a counter jungle? No. But he claimed by the Sylas there. Shield claimed after the damage comes through for Dhokla. CS lead in top still remains around 20. Licorice tends to have pressure. It's had just the slightly better side of the team fights now as well. Gold lead sits at 5,000. 1-1 in Drake's, far away from the chance at Soul. Golden Guardian's now going to start playing around the top side. Maybe a bit early to look at Baron just now. Only really 1.5 damage items here on the Zeri Hurricane. Not exactly a single target damage item, but slowly on the way up. And we'll see if CLG can find their way to bounce back.
Yeah, at the very least, first Ornn item is through for Dhokla, and he is continuing to scale up there. So that'll be coming through in these next couple minutes. You know, he hits 14 now, so very likely going to give it over to Luger, I would assume, to get him his upgraded mythic, and that will do some to actually kind of close the gold gap between these two players, getting the additional stats. And CLG, I think, just continue to try to weather the storm here. They try to stabilize. They hope that Sivir can really scale up, that Ornn can be that big teamfight presence that they want. You know, they do have the Enchanter on their side, so Sivir plus Lulu in the late stages, if you can get to that 3-4 item mark, a couple thousand gold isn't necessarily going to be enough. So I do think it's more on Golden Guardians to continue pushing the pace here still and try as best as they can to keep showing up to these objectives, continue snowballing towards a potential soul or a Baron threat or something.
So I want to see what the next target is, because Drakes are very far away and the threat at soul is just so far apart that I feel like, and the other problem is, we're not all that close to Baron just yet. Vision gained. Oh, over the walls, a stun though. Contractz rooted in place. They're still going to find that dunk and they're going to get the kill. Golden Guardian able to find the assassination on the opposing jungler. Now, it was 2 ultis used, but looking for more now. Poome may have to burn his flash. A bit of a tackle, a bit of a slow. Knocked into the air. Will he have to flash this one? No, he gets to walk away. Has enough health. His own ulti is down. Ooh, nice try there from Ablazeolive.
Okay.
But not Baroning.
Yeah, not deciding to go for the Baron. They decided to go for the chase instead. I think if they got those follow-up kills, they would have started it up, but not going to look for it just yet. Now they're going to be on it, and they do see them go in. They did get the push. They're going to at least get the TP off Dhokla. I think that's the bare minimum that they want. Once Dhokla TPs, they may pull off this. He's going to have to come over.
No smite contest available. Ulti's up on 3. No, only 2 for Golden Guardians. Palafox rooted in place while they find the kill. The stun, the Jarvan dive, a stopwatch for Ablazeolive. 1-0 so far. Dhokla running away. Stolen Ornn ulti. And he hits nobody. A sidestep from everybody. Dhokla, the flash to fall, finds the knockup there. A tackle for a slow there from Licorice.
Contractz, he's back.
Contractz is here, and he's going to get a lot of damage out of this one. Up goes the steadfast presence, and no one will die. Stixxay half HP, chunk down, loses shield bow. The Baron bait sets up a single kill.
Yeah, they do get that kill, so ever so slightly extending this advantage. Contractz looking for a threat on the wraparound here. They know someone's there. They will get the tower back, so should be gold positive for CLG at the end of the day, just very slightly so. But Palafox has been getting locked down here. You can see the chain CC, and it was a really good job to actually overlap there, because it wasn't even like they had a Amumu ult, right? So it was, I think, bandage tossed into the Sylas chain, into potentially, Poppy stun. Like, they had a lot, but they did a really good job of spacing it out and layering it, because Palafox didn't die instantly, right? It took a while for him to actually fall down there, but was not able to move whatsoever during that entire time.
But Baron's coming up, or sorry, Baron is up, still contested for Vision. Dragon coming up in just over a minute though, and that's going to be the important one, I feel like.
Yeah, and they're just starting it up. I mean, they know that Luger hadn't been back to base for a long time. Luger did go for the reset now, got himself the last Whisper. Has just been Hextech Soul all the time. And these gates have been making such a difference, these neutral objectives throughout this series. Luger faster than he would have otherwise been able to get there. And now looking for the angle.
Has everything. Bit of damage on a Luger, doesn't spell shield the zap. 5k health on Baron. Are they willing to play for it now? Contractz, his vision is known. Poppy ult will not land. Ablazeolive may try. Will they get the engage? Here comes the Ornn Horn. Olleh is down before he can ult, but they trade back the jungler. Dunk in the front line, a stun towards the Ornn. He is hard to kill, but Zeri is firing the back line. Ricochet looking good though. Stixxay, 400 HP in between Ricochets. Luger can still fire. Luger still putting the damage across. Luger gets a shutdown. Huge plays out of the Sivir, who is untouched. Has the chaos in the front line. And it's a 2-for-1 teamfight to CLG.
Yeah, Olleh gets burst down, and now Palafox on the hunt here. They continue to push these waves. If you can't get to the Sivir, you cannot win these team fights here. The Sivir supported by this Lulu. Such a threat in these fights. Ablazeolive had really good positioning here. Trying to look for the pincer move, trying to come in from the side with the soul and ulti, but through the middle, just barely gets that Amumu ult out, but he's already down here. And at the same time, you have to watch Luger, who's on the side, steps back to avoid the Cataclysm, but then just ricocheting off of Licorice, who's trapped into the Cataclysm here with the Ornn. Dhokla very, very tanky at this point. We're back to live. Contractz now hexgating out again. Look at those marksmen. It's just a battle between Luger and Stixxay.
Both putting out a whole heck of a lot of damage right now, and CLG are unable to actually rush down this Drake, though, despite the fact that it was momentarily 4v3. The respawns are in time, the Hex Gates are in time. There's going to be a contest over this Dragon right now. First Hex Drake will be the team, 1-1 the split. And right now, Stixxay shoving up the mid lane. Now, outer turret is already dead, but he's going to be forcing someone to answer this one. I believe spots LeBlanc on the blue trinket, having to play by himself, and Golden Guardians just entirely zone out CLG. CLG mostly ultiless, unable, unwilling to play the contest. And we get the second Drake of the game for Golden Guardians, pacing for a 37-minute Dragon Soul. Unlikely to come to fruition, but a possibility.
Yep, definitely a possibility there. And I don't blame CLG for actually not fighting that. There's 2k gold in the pockets of Luger, and Poome was down at, what, 30%, maybe 40% health, so it doesn't feel like it's a worthwhile fight to really flip your game on when it's only the second dragon. Yes, the individual dragons are valuable, but this was not threatening any sort of game-ending play. Dhokla now 15, so another upgrade going to come out from the Ornn items. Already has his Worm Fallen Sacrifice there out for Luger, as well as the Eye of Ludin onto Palafox. So the gold lead kind of lies to you at this point, right? Because there are 3 additional Ornn items, so I would say we're pretty close to parity.
Absolutely. I mean, the stats are definitely pretty close. Question is, yeah, can you get a better power spike? Lord Dominic's is a really big damage multiplier, right?
Yeah.
You know, Phantom Bait's in kind of a similar boat here. So if Stixxay can get to his Titanic Hydra, that'll be a whole lot of extra damage to start AoEing through the front line. So waiting to get enough gold to make that one happen, as looks like the Zeri recall may indeed be that item.
Yeah, Zeri can definitely, you know, kill frontline or kill backline through frontline, you know, with the splash, and that's kind of like what you're trying to do here with this style of build. It's less about the DPS you're actually dealing to Dhokla. It's more about, you know, trying to get the Titanic Splash and the Hurricane Splash back to the carries and really kind of getting that AoE damage down. But as far as straight up frontline damage, Sivir are going to be, you know, much more threatening.
Oh, yeah.
It does have the LDR here. There is a lot of armor on the other side. Double Frozen Heart purchased up, so if the Sivir can be free firing there with the Whimsy from Poome, it's going to have a tremendous amount of attack speed, and especially when the IE comes through for 4th item, that's going to be a monster spike for him.
It's going to feel really good. So mid-wave goes down yet again as Stixxay keeps his farm going up best he possibly can. Still 3 minutes for the next Drake. We look at another Baron dance probably pretty soon. So that's been kind of all the action here, right? It's been around the neutral objectives. A couple of picks here and there, but largely it's been around the objective setups. And Golden Guardians 9-5 in kills, 4,000 gold lead. The lead has not grown in the last 10-15 minutes, honestly. It's sat there at 4 to 5k for pretty much ever.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dhokla now 16, so another upgraded mythic going to be coming through. I think we're basically dead even at this point. You know, there's a lot of shred, you know, between the LDR and also Black Cleaver here for Contractz that he can apply to that front line is going to help make it a lot easier for Luger to get through. River now getting chunked out very low.
Yeah, goes to 30% under that, honestly. That's just Palafox combo. No one else doing that one, and this is the fate of the Jarvan, where he got his team ahead early. Licorice to the head, Stixxay to the head. Okay, great, Ablazeolive also well, but that's how much damage you deal from one champion.
Absolutely, and that is the danger of going these Frozen Heart second builds, right? Because you're not building HP, you're not building MR, you have Tabby's Frozen Heart. That does literally nothing for you against the LeBlanc here, so all that flat pen that's over on Palafox is going to be really threatening here. Has Shadow Flame, has the upgraded Ludens, has Sword Boots, looking like he's going towards a Death Cap next, so knows with all this armor being stacked, he's solo AP, so he is going to go for the max burst build here, which I do think is really smart. And does mean it's going to be big threat on not just Stixxay, but Ablazeolive and also River.
Top lane pushes down. Temporary level lead, Ablazeolive is 16. Palafox not there himself, so it is level 3 ulti. Shorter cooldown, more base damage in the spell. If Ablazeolive steals pretty much anything, it's going to do more.
It's also worth noting that it is even shroud for Olleh.
Yeah.
So it is going to be that amped damage, you know, 9% extra damage that people do take when you do ult them up or CC them. So there is the possibility, you know, you find that big multi-man ulti and Zeri is splashing through, everyone's getting that AoE damage out that's all amped by that mythic. It can definitely mean really, really tough things here for CLG. So, and we have seen Palafox, you know, put out his burst there, but at the same token, we've seen him get locked down and burst out himself a number of times. You know, he is that very squishy build. So if you do get hit by any of the CC, you're probably just dead. Like, there's no Banshee's Veil to kind of give you that little buffer to block something to allow you to distort back out.
Indeed's got to play it right. Nice interrupt there from Licorice, getting away from Dhokla here. Level 17 to 16, though. He has been on the side lanes just hoovering up XP. Can finally upgrade the final mythic there for Contractz. Actually, I believe you can get it for the Redemption is here as well, so it's actually valuable to join your team pre-combat. Donate the gold over. Here we go. Poome walks up. Bonk. You can walk away, but you're still gonna get the item.
Yep. Yep. There's no max range on it. You just have to be in range to start it, but then they can go as far away as they want. It'll still complete. They are on the Baron here, and CLG does know it.
Palafox walking up for a bit, not going to find anything too special just yet there. Root
Stolen
coming across
Ornn
there, stolen Ornn ulti, what's it going to find? On the Dhokla, on to Palafox, and out goes Lulu. Can they get the backline? The River is low. River, he's going to find himself dead to Contractz, but the re-engage looks good. It's already LeBlanc dead. The backline is Contractz. Over the wall goes Stixxay, staying alive there. Dhokla low, flashing back to safety. But guess what? Luger wasn't stopped. Luger's looking for the attacks, and he's going to be able to force back Golden Guardians.
Yeah, Luger does force him back, but he kind of tried to go in for those squishy backline members, and meant he had to actually flash out because he kind of just walked into melee range of Licorice and Ablazeolive. You got to be really careful when you're playing these short-range AD carries, because it means now River has flash and ulti, right? So they can come back, and they can actually force a start here on Baron and potentially look for a turn on Luger, because without flash, he is easy prey for the Jarvan. So we'll have to see what actually happens in this next fight. I mean, this one goes slightly in CLG's favor. They will get the dragon, but I do think that Summoner is a big price to pay.
Steven Gelmwithen. Can they kill him in the next Baron setup here? Because they're going to come back before the next dragon spawns. No problem at all. Obviously, a shorter cooldown on that one. Getting the way towards Infinity Edge. Getting the way towards Black Cleaver for Stixxay as we track those champions. Death Cap just to combine away for Palafox. And that probably would have outright killed River if he wasn't on the way towards Magic. Just finally has a Spectre's Cowl. That's going to help, of course, a ton. Force of Nature is through now for Licorice, so much needed defense against Palafox.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Banshee's Veil being bought up as well, but that is a lot of MR for just the one kind of source of damage. Of course, they really are, mostly a physical threat team here with the Wukong and the Sivir, and they're going to go right back to the Baron. I think this is smart. Capitalize on the missing summoner here from Luger. Luger has got a position way back from the team, because if he gets engaged on here by River, he's going to be toast.
Information gain, going to get hit up here by the Wukong. They go for the actual engage there. River getting over the wall. Ulti is down. And that is now Wukong missing Baron. Ultimate. Ablazeolive gets Lulu to make sure he can frontline a bit better or save somebody else for the dive. Dhokla is aware it's happening, but how can you get in range? How can you get anything done here? Ablazeolive not rooted in place. Will he find the re-engage towards Contractz? They burn it down now to 1k health. That is Baron claim for Golden Guardians, and time bot. Engage comes across for Olleh. Stopwatch out, but Contractz surely will die. Palafox's clone will drop. That's not going to matter as much, but Stixxay gets the kill credit. Second one goes down as River finds the engage. Stun will not land, but a flash double knock up there for River, getting out away from Luger. But the other kill's not here just yet. Stolen Ornn ulti now coming across. They're going to find a couple of their immunes, the knockup, but Dhokla, he will still find himself dying, pushing him to the wall. It's a 4-man kill. No one's dead for Golden Guardians. The Baron is claimed what the start to the power play.
Yeah, they're going to look to try to end the game potentially here. We'll see. They're TPing back in. They have the Baron minions. Sivir is alive, but he is the only one. It is a good 15 seconds here on Contractz. I think that's it. I think we're going to game 5.
Running down as fast as they can. Still 10 seconds on Contractz you're mentioning. Red Bull Baron power play barely started. It's a flash stun to the backline. Can they find it? A stopwatch will buy seconds, but it will still get the kill. There goes the 5th and final. There goes the Nexus turrets as you just get right back to the fountain, and Golden Guardians bring us to game 5.
What a series. Golden Guardians come up huge at the Baron there. Luger barely able to even participate in the fight without his flash, and the stolen Ornn ults meaning so much. Plus, an incredible rejection there from Licorice. Actually knocked Dhokla out of the fight during his Ornn ult, so he couldn't get the recast when they tried to go for that engage. R1 comes out with that Ornn ulti. He just gets knocked away, cannot redirect it for the actual knockups there. And it meant that Dhokla's out of the fight. They have no engage. Golden Guardians pounce and push us to game number 5. That one was feeling like it was starting to swing back towards CLG, but those last couple plays was really all it took for Golden Guardians to clean it up. And man, this series has been just like ending like that in those games.
Yeah, I mean, we are getting these, it feels like a decent amount of scrapping, but the kills aren't quite coming through. Kind of felt like game 3 in that regard. And then, yeah, you're doing the Baron setup. You mentioned that you wanted to see Golden Guardians push the pace, do the setups, get in the fights. And they're like, yeah, I'm going to solo Wukong. We're just going to focus him down. Contractz will die. He was like, 2 and 4 in the Wukong, like, wasn't very big. And it's like, yeah, we can just force on the Wukong. It's fine. And then play the fight out. That worked out really well. So Golden Guardians have had the series. CLG will get side selection in game 5. Blue is undefeated in this 2-2 series. We're going to head over to the State Farm Analyst though.
We're going to another game 5, and it's Golden Guardians who brings us there. 2-2 now stands the score. I mean, this is going against, I think, everything that anyone expected coming into the day. And it was interesting, actually, just Azael's point there about how, like, while a number of these games are fairly lengthy, they are ending like that.
Yes.
Right? When the moment is found, when the winning moment is found, it goes from a one-team fight to a dead nexus through, like, 4 turrets.
And it's just insane. I think no one expected what Golden Guardians are actually providing in terms of the team fighting. And I think they have a really solid understanding of the meta, like, coming into the series. I think you've talked about it, Jack, coming in, like, talking about kind of the same idea coming into each game. The hyper carries is one thing.
Strong top side of hyper carry.
Exactly. And also, you said it during the game, you said it prior, it's just like River and bot lane.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yes.
And Jarvan.
Yes.
And so to connect it from what I said previously about Dignitas, what he did on Dignitas, it's essentially the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Where he's going to invade, like, do a wraparound gank, try to play off of bot side pressure, make sure that bot lane is ahead. And in this game, it wasn't as, you know, massive, right? I know there are some maybe nits to pick around some Zeri builds. But I do think that that is a really great way of getting River involved into what is going on this team, because, like, previously, one of our big things is that he looked completely disconnected when he first came on, right?
Are we going to cut the video before Palafox kills himself? Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
We're nice. We're nice guys here.
It's an interesting series in that Golden Guardians, and Dash, you talked about this with River's Jarvan, they're just going back to what works.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody plays Poppy Top. It's working for Licorice.
You're first picking Poppy Top.
Yeah, it's like, it wasn't even a flex. They just picked Poppy first and then also picked Jarvan afterwards.
Seconds. Yeah, they took it right after.
So everyone knew exactly what was happening in this game, and this is the first one where the Enchanter was denied. I actually don't necessarily think this was like a Stixxay hyper game. A lot of this was like, Olleh hit 16 on Sylas, and then with the ultimates available, was able to pump out a bunch of damage. It's a spooky time for CLG.
Well, and because we saw moments where, with the Enchanter now on the other side of things along that Sivir, like, that fight there was a one fight for CLG. Here, it's going to be the Lulu that gets, oh, never mind, it was Ornn. A later fight, Lulu gets knocked out by Poppy. And because Lulu's not there, Sivir does not nearly have the same kind of damage output within the fight.
Yeah, and we also saw a few Baron fights here. Something that I talked about prior was just around Golden Guardians needing to be a lot more sudden when they turn for fights, because it wasn't there in the first game, and this one was perfect. I actually thought that consistently when Olleh was engaging, or J4 was going in as well from River, that the carries were on top of it. The last Baron situation, I thought Olleh did an incredible job. There it is.
Wow, he eclipsed the Zeri damage.
Yep.
There it is.
That's surprising Poppy damage, too.
Yeah, and I mean, Licorice was playing really well, too. Again, like, we've already talked about how broken Poppy can be in a lot of these fights, but his targeting onto priority targets in team fights is also a massive thing.
Well, and when it came to the early gold lead for Golden Guardians, it came from 2 places. It came from a 30 CS lead top lane pretty early on, about 90 to 60, and the same thing was happening on the bot side, with the Zeri also getting about a 30 CS lead nice and early. And so definitely setting Golden Guardians up for success. But it all comes down to the 5th and final game now, right? It's a best of 1 for both of these squads. It's do or die. Loser goes home. Winner keeps their lower bracket run alive.
Second game 5 for CLG in 2 weeks. The EU series went 5 games.
True.
The LPL series went 5 games.
True.
This is a banger day.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
a long day.
Postseason in general.
no
right
one
now
really
is popping
expected,
off.
none of us expected Golden Guardians to put up this level of fight. Azael mentioned in the cast that they do actually look a lot better than they did at any point during the split.
Yes.
And I think CLG is a little bit, it feels like they're maybe a little bit shook because they expected it to be easy. I really do think that.
Yeah,
how close they were against C9, how they were feeling like they lost in a good way, and then also how they were approaching these games early on. Okay, let's pick a stable mid laner, team fighter bot lane, let's just take care of business against Golden Guardians. That's not how it works.
Right.
Like, they have to get, I really want them to get back to the very aggressive multi-flank smash you early game styles. I don't want to see them try and hyper carry.
Yeah, that's where the Yone ban, I think, has actually been really important in a lot of these drafts. But I also do, since we didn't talk a lot about Golden Guardians before the game or like going into the series, I do want to highlight, not only are they playing better, not only are they doing stuff that's like pretty easy to execute around bot lane, but like Stixxay is someone coming in. He came back onto the LCS stage just this year after having been in Golden Guardians Academy and kind of tearing it up there with Chime previously when he was substituting in. And I think it's been really interesting how, again, the meta favors hyper carries. It favors playing around bot lane. I'm not going to say that Golden Guardians have always executed it as well as they could have in terms of like Drake stacking and stuff like that. But it's a very natural way to play for this team. And I'm glad they found an identity going into this series.
Yeah, Raz, let's not forget, this is an LCS champion on our screens right here. And in fact, when they went to MSI to make it to the finals, to Emily's point about the meta, guess how CLG started playing? With Enchanters. It was Aphromood defining that support meta of Enchanters around the AD carries. And so, I mean, I'm just going to call it that historically, Stixxay's top performances in the LCS
was
and in his career are being played around in that way. Yeah. And also, again, in CLG's colors.
Yeah. So, of course, the news being CLG going to blue. I mean, that's no surprise at this state with how blue's side has really been a major decider. But the main thing, the point that you made, Emily, I think is really valuable about like just how skillful he is and how much credit that he gets. I think what's important is like for any AD carry, is how he's set up to succeed, right? Around, like your mid laner and jungler have to be on the same page. The team has to be on the same page around team fights. They look 10 times better than they did prior. But that's the case for any team that's in the rebuilding period. Immortals looked better when they came out of that break, right? That the 3rd week break to 4th week break. And then now Golden Guardians actually had the opportunity to have that break going into playoffs when since River joined the team, and now they actually look like a unit, and I think that helped them massively.
I'm just trying to pay attention to the body language in these shots that we're getting. CLG looked very tense to me, and Stixxay looked very happy. Obviously, it is one team coming off a win and another coming off a loss. The mindset of CLG, yes, it is a completely rebuilt organization, but 1,098 days since they've won a best of 5. Yeah. They had this series in their hand. Everyone was saying that they should have been able to win it. Golden Guardians is just kind of playing for free. Yeah. Like, everyone counted them out, saying they didn't even deserve to be in playoffs. Like, hell yeah, this would be funny if we won. Like, that's kind of what they're thinking. It looks to me like Golden Guardians
Wouldn't it be a joke if we won
pressure.
Worlds? How funny would that be?
Yeah,
right? Like, what if we just pranked the whole of the LCS and got the win? I mean, they're one game away from doing so.
It's really tense right now for CLG, I think.
We'll see. It's been blue side all series long, so it's going to take something special for Golden Guardians to get this 3rd and final game that they'll need to take the best of 5. We'll see if Golden Guardians can defy expectations and keep their postseason dreams alive when we return for our 5th and final game. Cue up that Silver Scrapes.
Wukong really far. Yeah.
I think play for it. Just eat.
Burn. We can fight after. We can fight after.
Wukong. Go front.
Everyone Wukong.
Yeah, go front. Oh, LB is here. LB no flash.
I got Wukong.
LB no flash.
I'm on Lulu. Yeah, I can go. I can steal in 5. I can steal in 5.
Sivir no flash.
I steal in 5. I go. Look, I go.
Lulu no flash.
Or
I think we can, man. Sivir no flash.
Yeah, I'll tank. We go game 5 or what?
What if respawning was refreshing? Here's to the round between rounds.
This game is rigged. This game is out to get me.